Well, 10th January, we've dropped off the kids, or chopped them in an Uber, and we've left Cronulla a couple of hours ago, and we've just got glamour conditions out here now. We've got big spinnaker up and just barreling along at 8 or 9 knots, really calm seas. It's supposed to be like this for the whole day and into the evening. And I think we'll, just because it's just the two of us, just Leanne and I on board now, so this is a bit of a first for us, so probably won't have the spinnaker up for the night. We'll pop that down just as it gets dark, and switch the donks on, because it's going to drop right off. But just a glamour day. We've been sitting on the bean bags out the front, just had lunch, and yeah, feeling really excited about being able to do this, just the two of us. We haven't sailed short-handed like this before. So it's going to be great. Heading on what's probably about a 350 mile sail to the Gippsland Lakes. And yeah, the plan is just to go all the way through, all being well. So there's lots of places we can stop if we decide we've had enough, but I don't think we will be, because then we can enjoy some time down the lakes, which is one of my favourite spots. So yeah, that's us. Hashtag boat passage life, darling. How are we? We're good. Feeling good about the passage ahead?
I think so, but it is only like, whatever, 3 hours.
3 hours in at 48, but it's pretty comfy out here. Really nice. Spinnaker's up. We successfully did that, the two of us. Thought that was pretty good. What are you doing there? Taking notes? Okay. Alright. Beautiful night. Somewhere off Jarvis Bay area. The spinnaker's still up. We're planning to leave that up for the night. Just very nice, comfortable sailing. All happy days. Done with dinner. Not too shabby. How are we going, darling? Downloading
some goodness from the watch.
Getting ready for the watch. Yeah. Lovely. Very pleasant down here. Well, it's been a very pleasant night. Spinnaker was up till dark and then just motored through the night. Now we're just sort of off Bateman's Bay, and hello, look what we've got here. Ooh. Dolphins, big dolphins. Wow. They are big as. Wow. You are the biggest dolphins I've ever seen. I've never seen such big dolphins in my life. Well, it's been a long passage, but comfortable, which is great. A lot of engine hours the last nearly 24 hours, not quite, last 18 hours or so. We're just going around Gaybo Island. So Gaybo Island is really, I guess, where New South Wales meets Victoria, or close to. So I'd love to see what's on there. You can actually anchor there in the right weather, which whenever I'm going past here, I'm usually trying to get somewhere, so it never really works to stop. But I'd love to stop and see what's there. This looks like a really impressive structure there, some sort of settlement. And on the other side, you can actually anchor, but not today, that's for sure. So we're going to go through the night. It's about, I don't know, 7 PM or something. We're going to go through the night, and then we should arrive at lakes in the morning. Let's tighten that sucker up. It's dinner time at Shea Baruch. What are we cooking, Dales? what you do with it, dolls. Oh, look at that. That looks pretty good.
Still needs some kinking. Not easy to clean down.
Yeah, fair call. Very tricky. I've upped the challenge. So it's chicken and what else? Rice.
Maybe it doesn't look that appetizing yet, does it?
But it will when you're done with it, right? What's been your highlight so far of this trip? Yesterday under Spinnaker.
Sure.
It was a lovely day, sunny day. What's been your low light?
This morning was pretty rugged.
This morning was rough, especially when we left the bloody hatches open and we got our bed wet and Kalani's bed wet, like real wet, like river wet. So that sucked and just completely our fault. We just left it open. Anyway, we'll sort that out when we get to lakes. The last, we're just cruising along at 7 odd knots, 7.5 on the motor. Happy days. Well, this is what it looks like when you're night sailing. It's just kind of bed. I've come up. Not a lot to see. So we're just really, Christmas trees lighting the way. So we're just really going by these instruments and the radar. So this radar overlay shows where the land is, and that coincides. Those red marks denote that the radar's picking something up. But I can see, because it's overlaid on the land, that is land, and so it's nothing to worry about. Whereas if there'd been something up ahead, then I'd probably say it was a boat or something other than that. So we need to be aware of that. And we have had a few down this area in Victoria. There's quite a lot of fishing boats that don't want to go on AIS because they don't want people seeing where they're fishing, and that's a bit of a safety hazard for us. So we've got to keep an eye on these boats on radar. We've got the motors off, and our main halyard actually broke yesterday, so we haven't got a mainsail, and yet still with the just the zero up, we're still barreling along, 9.4, 9.2 knots in, where we got 15 knots of wind. So this boat just loves to sail. It's flying along. If I had the main up, we'd be doing 12s, 15s, I'm sure. But this is a good speed to be going through the night anyway, so, and really super easy just to fill up the zero once we want to stop and put the motors on when we arrive. We're looking like we'll arrive at Lakes Entrance at about 6:30, 7:30 in the morning. So it's about 1:30 now, so it's good. We're making good time. 10 knots. Well, we made it into Lakes Entrance through the bar. Bit of a grey old day, but we left at midday from Cronulla, and it's 8:30 now as we come in the entrance. So I'm too tired to do the maths on that, but less than 48 hours anyway. About 44, is it? 44 hours? Sounds about right. So pretty good run really for 335 miles. Had to do a fair bit by motor, but it's all good. Here now, looking forward to some rest. Out. Difference a day can make. It was blowing dogs off chains yesterday, so we're pretty happy to be tied up. And now we've got honorary guests. Mum and Dad, how are we?
We're very well. Couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better. Loving boat life.
Yeah.
Like caravan life, but better.
Yeah, but better because the mattress was a whole lot better anyway.
Oh, that's good to know.
Good.
So we're going to go for a cruise, that's Newlands Arm there, we're going to go for a cruise up into Duck Arm, park it there for the day, then sail down to Meetung and have dinner at the pub.
Feels alright.
sailing. Sails well and truly up, heading into the wind, sailing up to Metung. Put a new main halyard on, or fix the old one. So just making sure that works before we head offshore. Got the old man having fun at the front. Happy days, Papa. Feel like it, but we're finishing off well. What have we got here, darling? Oh, that looks pretty.
Little something I whipped up earlier.
Just a little something something. What do we got? Oh, hello. Bit of lamb cutlets, strawberry bean feta magic, and drinking a lovely Montalto Pinot, next to Yoringa Harbour. Very lovely. It's been awesome down here. Have you loved the lakes, babe?
Yes.
Can you believe we've been here a week?
No.
It's crazy. And then tomorrow morning early we get up and we've got a magic forecast to head to the prom. It's telling us we're going to average 12 knots, which I'll see to believe, but anyway.
But you'll let us know if we do it.
If we do it, I'll be shouting from the rooftops, but it's going to be fantastic. Either way, it's going to be a great sail. Hang out there on Thursday, chill out, and then sail the rest of the distance back home to Friday. And then, wow, Saturday in our beds after 6 weeks or whatever it's been. Hard to believe. But this has just been magic. I've just loved being down on the Gippsland Lakes. Metung, it's a magic spot. Well, leaving Gippsland Lakes, we arrived on a grey day and we're leaving on a grey day, but weather's supposed to get better throughout the day and supposed to have glamour run to the prom once the wind picks up in an hour or two. So it's been beautiful here. Loved every minute of it. Can't believe we've been here for a week. It's Wednesday, we arrived last Wednesday morning, about the same time actually, so we've been here exactly a week. Time's flown by though. Such a nice part of the world. We'll be back.
Sunlight fell, it reminded me that life can be so gracious sometimes. And I felt like everything around me was connected somehow.
Well, it's pretty nice out here now. It was a bit uncomfortable before, very uncomfortable actually. Leon and I are both feeling pretty sick. But now, that was when we're under motor. The winds come in as expected. And we've got about 20 knots, or 22, 23 knots. And we're moving along at about 11 to 12 knots. Heading to the prom. We're about 50 miles in and about another 70, nearly 80 to go. Yeah, it's nice. It's not too bad out here now, but it's funny, you know, once your stomach's gone, it's hard to get it back. It's in any, if we just started in these conditions, I'd be loving life, but it's, I'm still a bit on the edge, on the old tummy side of things. Anyway, we've got a second reef in the main. That was actually the batten broke, so I wasn't able to put in the first reef, which is what I wanted to have. We'd be going even faster if that was the case. But this is fast enough, 10 to 12 knots. 6:30 this afternoon, which is a good run. Just coming up to Southeast Point, the Wilson's Prom Lighthouse. It's pretty bumpy and rolly. It's been a pretty uncomfortable day. Although we've been flying, we were sitting doing 13 knots, 15s at times. But then we had a halyard break on the Code Zero and had to go to just head sail and 2 reefs in the main. So that slowed us right down. We're doing only about 8-9 knots now. I've just turned on the motor just to get us through this little bit, and then when we get around this corner, we're hoping we'll have a whole lot of protection from that headland and shouldn't start getting much flatter and much more comfortable. But yeah, it's been a pretty unpleasant day. We haven't really been able to eat anything. Haven't just been sort of getting through it. So it'll be a 12-hour trip by the time it's done. So pretty keen to get there. Finally in some flat water in the protection of the point here, and we are knackered. We had a halyard break today. It's beautiful here though. We had a halyard break today on the Code Zero, and that's the whole thing went into the water, and there's the offending piece. I'm pretty sure it just snapped. It didn't look like it was rubbing. I just cut a new bit, so I'm pretty sure it just snapped. We had about 25 knots at times, and I think it just couldn't handle that. So we went from doing 15 knot boat speed to a lot less than that. But amazingly, Leanne and I were able to get it, even though it was all in the water. We were able to pull it back onto the boat fairly well. Got a superstar crew in Leanne, and we got it back on without even damaging it. Just there's one little tiny bit that needs a sew, but nothing major at all, just on the leech line. So that was very, very lucky. Could have been way worse, could have been wrapped around props and all sorts of things, so very thankful for that. Oh, this is looking much nicer. We are just knackered. We've been going since 5 o'clock this morning, and we really haven't eaten much. Just, yeah, it's coming up to 7 at night. It's been a big day. What a magic spot here in Oberon. It's blowing dogs off chains. I've got about 20 to 30 knots of breeze, but I've got 30 metres of chain out in 5 metres of depth, so we've been rock solid all night, feeling very safe and secure in here, and just, yeah, gathering ourselves for tomorrow's last big sail back to the heads. It's been amazing. Such a beautiful place down here though, I love it.
At night I hear the rhythm of the ocean as it breaks on the shore, and I think about all the things that I am grateful for. And they say, hold on to the ones you love, keep them close to you.
Leaving Oberon Bay. It's about 5:30 in the morning. We've got 1 reef in, and we've got no downwind sail today because we broke our halyard the other day, so a bit slower than normal, but we're still doing about 9 knots at the moment with 1 reef and a head sail. If we had the Zero, you'd be talking 15s, even 20s later today. But what a beautiful place. Such a shame yesterday was so windy, you could barely sit out on the boat. It just about blew you off. So one thing that I'm really happy with is the anchor. The anchor's just spectacular. Didn't budge at all. It's beautiful down here though. He's hoping for calm seas today. That'd be nice. ETA into the heads, a bit unknown at the moment, but slack water's at 5:30. Not that I'm too fussed about that because there's not a lot of swell, so no real big deal if we arrive outside of that.
They say, hold on to the ones you love.
And here we are. We made it. Going through the rip. Very benign conditions today for the rip. What a glamour day today has been. Just absolutely gorgeous. Been up on the bean bags, having beer o'clock, and yeah, just so stoked to have made it and done this journey. It's fantastic. It's Corsair Rock just there. Best not to go that way. Give that a wide berth. Coming in on a different heading today. We're using the Corsair Rock side of the rip rather than going to the Four Fingers west side, because there's no, we're at slack water and there's no swell, so really do whatever we want really, as long as we miss the rocks. We're happy days. So good to be inside the heads, just beautiful. Damn, this boat can sail. 10 knots with 38 degrees apparent. So cool. Okay, so we're back. We arrived back into the bay yesterday, sailed up last night and parked off our home cliff here in Mount Martha, and it's a magic spot. Pretty easy to come home when this is what you're coming home to. Just had a walk with Hannah and Kalani, caught up with them after not being around them for a couple of weeks. Magic spot here. It's been a great trip. Great trip. And that's a wrap.
Returning home. Nearly 6 weeks. It's a pretty nice place to return to. Doggy Beach.